Welcome to The Blueprint, powered by K Marketing Co. I am so excited to have Kristin on with us today, and we are going to talk about serving your community and the heart behind local nonprofits. So before we get into it, Kristin, I would love for you just to introduce yourself, share about your role, and then we'll kind of get into the topic.
Yeah, well, thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
Very cold outside, so it's interesting to talk about our summer offerings.
That is so true.
When it's 14 degrees outside.
Yes.
But it's a nice reprise. I am Kristin Chronister. I am the interim executive director at Longs Park Amphitheater Foundation. We put on 12 free concerts every Sunday all summer long. And we also do the Labor Day Weekend Art Festival all in Longs Park. And we've been doing that for 64 years.
I love that. I love that. And I love that you were absolutely right at the recording of this. It's like 2 degrees outside.
No.
And so you're right. I'm sitting here and I'm like, oh, what I would kill to be sitting at a summer concert series
Like
right
what
now.
I wouldn't kill for like humidity and like even I would even handle the mosquitoes.
I mean,
Like whatever, as long
yes.
as it's not 14 degrees.
One of my daughter's friends actually got frostbite. Like it's that cold. I know. She got stage 1 frostbite.
Oh.
I know.
Is she okay?
She's okay. Yeah, she's good. Like, yeah, but at first when my daughter told me, I was like, did she? And then she showed me and I was like,
Oh
oh my
my
goodness,
gosh.
sweet girl. And she was only outside for like a half an hour. Like
I'm
it's
telling
not,
you.
it's crazy.
No.
Crazy.
We need to thaw.
We do need to thaw. We can't even go south to thaw right now.
No.
It's all frozen tundra. All right. So first question, what drew you to nonprofit work and specifically serving the community through the arts?
Well, I've been in the arts my whole life. I was a singer for many years. I started in elementary school and I basically didn't stop.
I remember when Alicia found out you were a singer and we Googled you and I was like, this is so fun.
Oh my gosh. Well, thank goodness you don't know my maiden name, which is where all the actual recordings are. Yeah, it's a really cool path that I took to get here, but I worked with a lot of nonprofits for my singing.
Yeah.
And, you know, the benefit for the community is that it's affordable. And not all nonprofits for performing arts are as affordable as what we offer.
Yeah.
But the draw for me was that this is the area that I am the most familiar with, and it's the most impact I can have on my community. So the nonprofit work in the arts in Lancaster in particular is really thriving.
Mm-hmm. I would agree with that.
So, yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah. All right. So with that in mind, what does serving the community look like for your organization?
Well, like I said, we give free concerts. So aside from the fact that we're bringing really great music and art to a city park for everyone to enjoy, we've made it extremely accessible in that you don't need to plan ahead. You can just show up.
Yeah.
It's kind of like offering a different cuisine every week. We have such a variety of music.
I was like, talk about the variety, because I think sometimes, you know, some of our listeners might remember, right, like the fireworks from their childhood. Mm-hmm. But if you have not experienced the summer concert series, like, you are missing out.
Yeah.
So, yeah, share about the different genres and what you kind of do there.
Yeah. So we do our best with the music to curate something different every week so that we're giving something to everyone,
mm-hmm.
right? We may have a Latin band one week and then follow it up with like a true Americana bluegrass band, and then follow it up with Celtic music and then world music from Africa, and then just like maybe a really solid rock and roll band, and then country. We try to give something for everyone. And then, of course, the patriotic concert is a fireworks display with the Army Band playing some of our nation's favorite tunes. It's just
and
like
this year had drone show too, which was very cool.
And we also live streamed this past year, which was a new addition, and it was received really well.
That's
Some people
awesome.
couldn't get out, or it's like really packed there.
Yeah.
So that was really cool.
Yeah. And getting it to people that can't necessarily make it out to the summer concert series and still making it accessible for them as well. So what would you say some of the biggest challenges are that face nonprofits today?
I would say support. Primarily volunteer support.
I was going to say volunteers. Yeah.
we're all so richly scheduled. So I can say, as a working mom with 2 kids under the age of 10, and, active social lives and active family lives, that it's just like not a lot of time left in your week to devote to your community. So I think that that's something that I would say probably a lot of nonprofits can share. And of course, the financial support that's necessary for us to make sure that these concerts are free is always something that we're searching for, is individuals and businesses who are looking to put back financially into their community so that we can bring these really great bands every week.
And I think some of the cool things, even from a volunteer perspective, specifically for the foundation, is that it's something fun you can do as a family. I love the volunteers. They're always so welcoming, but it's not something that requires a huge commitment. You just come and you have a good time. Like, you're enjoying the music, you're doing all of those things. And I always find anytime that I volunteer, even if I have to really be like, okay, like, I'm going to do this, I'm going to, once you're done, you feel so fulfilled, and so I think that sometimes when our schedules are so structured, like you said, it's really hard to make space for that, but you always feel so good after the fact, and you get to meet new people. So if you're new to the community, we always say, getting involved in a nonprofit is a great way to meet new friends, new people in the community. And I think that's kind of a cool piece as well. I also love, again, we have little kids, right? So I love the amount of older people that volunteer and opening the space for them to pour into me. And they have so many fun stories and so much to give. And I think sometimes we forget how funny and fun, and caring, getting to build relationships with those people are.
Oh, yeah. The intergenerational bonds that you create by volunteering in the community are something that we don't do enough of in our society.
Yeah.
It's a great place to have that third space. If your life is filled with your first and second space, if your first space is your home and your second space is your work, that third space of where do you go outside of those two places to interact with people, and volunteering is one of those ways you can do that.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. All right, so tell me a little bit about how community support and local partnerships play a huge role in your success.
Oh, yes. So we try to offer opportunities for local businesses, other nonprofits, to gain a broader audience through what we do. So the music attracts people, the tradition attracts people to the park, the vibes, the experience. And that's a really great space to offer opportunities for other businesses and nonprofits who maybe don't have events like we do on a regular basis.
Right.
So those are really important structures that we put into our process that allows for that kind of back and forth with other businesses and other nonprofits to see how can we help each other.
Yeah.
What can you do? Can you guys bring us some volunteers? We're going to give you some time on stage to speak. And same with, if you're looking to build your clientele, look, we have like a couple thousand people who come to these concerts every week. It's a great way to get in front of them.
Exactly. Absolutely. Yeah. And I love too just seeing some of the different opportunities that you have for companies, like when you have them come and clean the stage before the beginning of the season, things like that. I think that's a really great way for bonding for those companies, and a really fun way for them to get out of the office and do something fun and different as a team.
Absolutely.
That's really
and it's
great.
Outside.
And
it's outside, which is like very few hours of my day I get to spend outside.
Yes.
I think that's something that's really special.
Yeah, I love that. All right. So can you share a moment or a story that reminds you of why this work really matters?
Yeah. I have several. I'll share a couple.
I love that.
So first, it is very personal to me. My daughter is now 8. She'll be 9 soon. She's been coming to the concerts as long as I've been a part of the organization. So for her, that's since she was like 4 years old. And every summer, without fail, she is on the dance floor in the middle of everything, dancing her little heart out. And one Sunday, she was kind of maybe dancing alone. And the lead singer of the band that night stopped in between songs and pointed her out and said, like, oh, you're going to be a star.
Oh.
Which, of course, to her, she still tells that story.
Of course she does.
And that was the best thing that had ever happened to her in her little life. And that was meaningful for me because we were just there to enjoy ourselves. And now she has something that she can carry with her.
Yeah.
And it didn't cost anything.
Right.
So that's my personal, like anecdote, and like obviously getting ice cream with my kids while great music is playing, and and the sun set behind you. I mean, it's just all really magical.
Yeah.
But recently, I had the pleasure of working with somebody who's very dedicated to the organization and has been coming to concerts for many years, maybe her whole life.
Wow.
She was really moved, almost to tears, describing what these events mean to her. And like seeing this, very accomplished grown woman who lived a wonderful life full of wonderful experiences talk about these summer concerts as impacting her life as much as they did. It really moved me. It's something that, I think Lancaster maybe doesn't always remember is special about this place. But not every city and town has
It's very true.
what we offer.
Well, and as you were saying that, like remembering and how many people you talk to about even just the 4th of July fireworks, right? And with so much change in the world, constantly changing, every day it's changing, to have such a long-standing, largely unchanged in that capacity tradition that people can hold on to and continue to share with their kids and their kids' kids, like 64, right? 64 years.
Mm-hmm.
Like that, I think, is awesome. One of the things that I always remember from childhood is the tunnel under Route 30
to Park City.
Yes.
Absolutely.
But like things like, and it's still there, and you can still walk through it.
Absolutely.
And and making those core memories with your kids and experiencing live music, and we think we're inundated with all this technology, and technology is great and it has a wonderful place, but going back to just real people, real music, real life experiences, grass, all those things that we need as humans and our families need. I love those memories. I love that. All right. So talking on the same thing as the tunnel, what would you now say is something about balancing tradition and continuing to grow and evolve as a nonprofit, right? And I think about this often is it's like the Kodak effect or the Blockbuster effect, right? We love tradition and it is so wonderful, but how do we also evolve because the world is evolving?
Right. How do you not become obsolete?
Yes, that's a great way to put that.
Right.
Great way.
And in a world that's like planned obsolescence, right? Like this is maybe off topic, but so many things in our lives are like created to have a shelf life.
Mm-hmm.
Like, years ago, you could buy a KitchenAid mixer and it was going to be your KitchenAid mixer for like 50 years, and that just doesn't happen anymore.
My house was built 13 years ago, and my microwave is the last remaining original appliance, and it started acting up this weekend. And I was like, are you kidding me? So keep going. Yes.
I mean, exactly. That's the point is there's so much in our lives that is expendable, and it changes so quickly.
Yeah.
That the tradition of what we are offering is part of the allure. Right? And it's genuine.
Yeah, absolutely.
We are staying true to the original intent of that amphitheater.
Yes.
It was not created for any other purpose than to offer free concerts to the Lancaster community every summer. And we are very serious about maintaining that.
Yeah.
I'm sure there are other ways that we could offer what we offer, but making sure that it stays free is one of the ways we stay true to our tradition.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Because music naturally evolves.
Right.
Art naturally evolves. So there's not going to be a whole lot of overlap with what we were putting on that stage in 1968 and what we're putting on the stage in 2026.
Right.
So there's just like an easy way for us to evolve in just bringing in fresh music and fresh artists. And so that allows us to marry that tradition while also growing and listening to the public. What do you want to hear? What are you excited about? I think we do a really good job of balancing, like we were talking about intergenerational earlier. There are different generational tastes in music.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be honest, it was so cool to us. We got a couple of years ago, we had a band called Good Shot Judy, and they were like a swing band.
Oh, that's fun.
And we were like, this is going to be so wonderful for like some of the people who were alive during the time with that music.
Yes.
And wouldn't you know it, the entire dance floor was filled with swing dancers the whole concert, and they were all under the age of 25.
Stop it.
I know.
That's awesome.
We were very surprised.
Yes.
But it was like a perfect example of like bringing that old and new together through art.
Yeah.
And
bringing beautiful music and exposing it to different people, and they might not know that they don't like it because they've never experienced it.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. So that's some of the ways that we kind of do that, and we are very honored to maintain the tradition that was set forth, and we work hard to preserve it.
All right, so final question. What is one thing that you wish more people understood about the value of local community and the nonprofits in our community?
Ooh. So I mentioned earlier third space. This is coming up a lot in like...
I love that phrase too.
Right?
I really do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For a long time, third space was like Rotary Club or like the Hamilton Club or the Lions Club or Hawks, these places that were social clubs or churches.
Yes.
Right? Your church community was your third space where you could go and not necessarily have to talk about your family or your work life and just have a purpose, have activities outside the home. And our society really has lost a lot of that. And there are some people, like I myself included, if you work from home, you almost don't even have a second space.
Yeah, that's true.
With all this cold weather, I mean, there were days where I did not leave my home.
Yeah.
And that impacts your mental load.
Yeah.
Right? So what I think that the nonprofits in the Lancaster community in particular offer is that third space, where you're able to go interact with other people, meet people you haven't had an option to meet before, but also work toward a common goal.
Yeah.
So it's one thing to maybe go to the mall and walk around with other people, but actually trying to accomplish something with a group of people really brings you together.
Right.
And it sharpens your communication skills. It sharpens your compassion and your empathy. If you're going to a nonprofit like what we offer, you are getting some really good vibes.
Yeah.
Right. You're getting some this is so fun. I'm getting music. I'm getting art. I'm getting culture. And if you're going to another nonprofit that's serving the community in more tactical way, where they're feeding the homeless or they are housing people or getting people set up for the next stage of their lives, those are things that are so impactful beyond how it makes you feel, that ripple effect allows you to connect with your community in a way that you wouldn't be able to if that nonprofit didn't agree or didn't exist.
Yeah. I mean, that's so true. And think of how much good, as you're talking about volunteerism, how much good these nonprofits are bringing to our community. And even when you're talking about, those that are feeding the hungry, those that are housing the unhoused, right? If they didn't exist, how would that impact our community, right? And when we think about that, and if that gives you a little chill, then think, hey, I think I can make space. I think I can make space to volunteer so that these things are still there for our children, and our children's generations. And
absolutely.
I love that. I love that. So before we close, though, Kristin, we didn't talk about one more important thing that the Longs Park Amphitheater does. And share with me a little bit about this art festival thing that happens over Labor Day.
Oh, just that little thing.
Just a little thing.
The thing that takes 200 volunteers to put together is no big deal.
No big deal. It's totally fine.
Our Labor Day weekend art festival, I think we're entering our 47th year. of putting that on. It originally started in 1976. It was a one-off, and it was geared towards being a fundraiser for the Summer Music Series.
Yeah.
And it was so successful that in 1979, the organization took it on as an annual event. And it has exploded since then on the art scene. It's nationally acclaimed as one of the best art festivals in the country.
Love that.
I mean, like right here in town.
Yes.
It's amazing. And it is, again, something that we've consistently offered for, for decades.
Yes.
I mean, it's decades.
Yes.
It is, like I said, a really important income generator for our nonprofit, where that the proceeds from that event allow us to, put on the Summer Music Series the following year. And we have over 200 juried artists every summer.
It's amazing. And it's one of those things, again, if you're listening here in our local community, going out and supporting these events helps to keep them alive, helps to bring in the artist, and keep that tradition alive in our community. So.
Yeah, and the one more on the art festival is it's a family event.
Mm-hmm.
So the concerts are also a family event, and you would think maybe an art festival, like, well, I definitely did not want my 3-year-old son running around the art festival for a few years because he was going to break something. But it is a safe environment for kids to walk around with their families. We have a kids' art tent, which is really popular, and it's 25 and under is free.
Right.
So it's this experience.
And it's exposing. It's getting them out there and seeing real art made by real people.
And not AI.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. And just. And putting into perspective, I love when I walk around the art show, the artists that are doing live art and realizing in order to create this, somebody didn't just click a button and ta-da, that this took hours and hours, days, weeks, months of their lives to pour into this art and to appreciate it, and to see what beautiful things, because, AI is pulling from things that original people made.
Sure.
And, teaching them and learning the exposure of the different arts and the artisans and all that. And I love the emerging artist piece of it too.
Yeah.
And giving a platform for those young artists to come out and get on the art scene. And I love that too.
Yeah.
So.
Again, we're going to keep this tradition going for so long. We've got to get the next generation of artists involved and giving them, like you said, a platform.
Yeah.
So that they can, and then also getting our younger generation in for patrons.
Yeah.
I would love for my kids to grow up and their house is full of art that a human made and not, what a lot of my house looks like is like from Target, which is great also to have that accessibility. But there's something unique about the art show and that you can come away from it with something affordable that then lives in your home and you have a story that goes with it and that somebody made that with their hands and that the money you gave them for it went directly to them.
Yeah. The photography behind my desk in my office is from the art show. So it's Belle the cow. But it's, and I love her. And she's from Animal Sanctuary, black and white photography. It's beautiful. I love it. Support the arts, support the local community, and come, if you haven't been recently, come experience the Summer Concert Series and the Art Festival. You will be so glad that you did. So thank you, Kristin, for being our guest, and we will see you next week.
Thank you.
Yep. Bye.